Right, George Csahiouni reaching out to all of you ISOs and agents and fintechs out there in the marketplace. Tell you a little bit about Tripoli Advisors and how we help agents and ISOs grow. When I was launching and scaling a handful of the ISOs that we built, I would oftentimes find myself guessing what's going to work best in the marketplace, whether that was systems or tools, sales models, operational standard operating procedures, everything in between. A lot of it was learned for myself, really by trial by fire, right? Trial and error, making a lot of mistakes, spending a lot of cash, and really I often found myself as the key leader and the founder, not really having anyone else to go to get clear modeling for how to scale my business. Myself, like many of you that are out in the marketplace, probably fell into this industry by accident, selling payment processing. Made some sales, realized that it was lucrative and fun working with merchants, building sales teams. And for myself, we went from 10 mids a month to 50 mids a month to 100 plus mids a month and beyond. And as that process progressed, things became less about selling. And one day I woke up and I found myself having to really just put out fires every day from 7 a.m. till 7 p.m., dealing with employee issues, dealing with vendor issues, really becoming the janitor and picking up the phone, putting out fires with merchants, and things that were instinctively, to me, they're instinctive in my head, processes that seemed common sense and natural, didn't really work for scaling for leadership of our teams in various different departments. We had to extract that out of my head and put that on paper in order to survive and really create a duplicatable system and process that turned us from a sales agent office, then to an ISO, ultimately to a mature corporate structure that allowed us to scale and eliminate that brain damage that comes from those transition states. So that ended up motivating me to build Tripoli Advisors to help provide support for the agents and the ISOs that are in the marketplace, challenged by various things, and that are really looking for an operator that knows the business, that can help you build. And whether that's frontline support for your sales teams, servicing teams, or operational teams, or whether that's executive level support, you're the key leader or your key leadership needs help and guidance so they can make better decisions and be more effective. Tripoli Advisors really fills that gap where we step in from a per project basis, small or large, fractional work, or an ongoing agreement. And what we try to do primarily is lighten the load and the bandwidth for yourself and for your teams to be able to execute more effectively, to also be able to execute without second guessing yourself, to give you certainty of what is working and what is not working in the marketplace. So you're not trying things on for a while, spending cash to hire employees or new systems and tools or marketing efforts that ultimately lead nowhere. We use all the systems and processes and tools that we used internally to scale and successfully exit out of 3 payment processing ISOs. But more importantly, with all of our hundreds of relationships with agents and ISOs that we work with on an advisory basis in various capacities, we know what's working in the marketplace. We have the opportunity to sit on top of the ecosystem. We have the data. We have the day-to-day and ongoing relationships where we're working in these businesses alongside of agents and ISOs like yourself. And we know what systems and tools to put into place and what's working. And what that allows us to do is to share that information with your groups for you to be able to make better decisions, whether that's marketing, you're looking for new leads and you're wondering, what's the best lead source? What are my options? And what does it cost? And how is that going to fit into my current culture and systems and tools? Maybe you're thinking about the 1099 agent model. Is that still working? Do you want to add W-2 sales agents or maybe a hybrid of both? And you're not sure if it will work, how it will work, what will it cost you? And more importantly, what do you have to sacrifice to make the change? What gets shelved on the table? From an operational standpoint, what we hear a lot about is getting more accounts approved. How do we pre-underwrite or underwrite our merchant accounts to make sure that they're placed in the right platform successfully, they're approved, they're sticky, and then more so thereafter, how do we deploy them effectively? Not just shipping out equipment, but getting the equipment and technology, hardware and software installed and getting accounts activated at a 90% better ratio. Or from a customer service standpoint, are you doing customer service? If so, is it any good? Are you reactive or proactive? Meaning, are you reaching out to merchants proactively to keep them happy before a small problem turns into a crisis situation and ultimately a merchant flight risk? We help with all of that. And we help from a position of experience, from real know-how. This isn't theory. It's what we've used and what we are using with ISOs and agents in the marketplace today. And our entire goal is to fight the good fight for agents and ISOs that are really facing an incredibly changing marketplace with AI and automation, moving into the marketplace aggressively and quickly, with private equity, huge funds investing into this space and consolidating agent and ISO entities and portfolios. The technology for point of sale changing very, very quickly. It's hard to keep up with the content, the hardware, the software, what's working, what's not working from a merchant perspective, right? And everything in between. So whether you're just looking for some small fractional support or you're looking for an overhaul of your current model, or you're trying to scale from 25 mids a month to 100 mids a month, and maybe you have reached a plateau and you're having a tough time overcoming that, or maybe you're mid-level and you want to move into enterprise level and you're looking to capture your own bin, don't know how to navigate that process. Or a common area of opportunity is managing your portfolio for maximum optimization. What's the holes in the portfolio? Do you have accounts and revenue bleeding out of the back? What could you do to optimize it without disrupting and causing conflict with your merchants that currently exist? Or how do you position it for a sale? Tripoli Advisors helps with all of those things. We can advise, we can buy portfolios if you're looking to sell some or all of your portfolio for capital. We also lend directly. We're a specific fintech payment processing lender where we can lend against your residuals at a reasonable cost of funds, which is hard to find, as I'm sure some of you all know, in the marketplace. Maybe you don't want to sell, you need some capital to grow, and you're having a tough time finding it. All of that and everything in between, our entire mission is to help agents and ISOs succeed and be able to overcome the ebbs and flows of the current marketplace. So if you're looking for some help, no strings attached, reach out. Happy to have 1 or 2 consults with you on the key top 1 or 2 or 3 items that, if cured or solved for, might have the greatest impact on your business, your revenue, or your bottom line. Reach out to me directly. You can find me on LinkedIn or reach out to my team at tripoliadvisors.com or shoot us a phone call. Happy to sit down with you and or any members of your team and just talk about what's working and what's not working. I appreciate your time. Thanks for listening, and best of luck to you and to your business.